Well, it's been another week and an episode of The Bad Batch has come out. And, well, this one was certainly a change of pace. It's nice to see a few things go on. First of all is the fact that once again we see clone commandos, and also for a fact that it picks off pretty much where Season 1 ended, with clone expertise. More specifically, with the adoptive mother of Echo being in a cell, not really working with the Empire in regards to cloning technology. I think the other thing is the interesting thing is the fact that the Empire are trying to clone the Zillo Beast, which of course makes its debut appearance again, and largely, it seems to confirm largely what we know before. But also the fact that the Zillo Beast, in order to grow large, actually absorbs electricity. Or rather energy, and by absorbing it, it can grow to huge size. That certainly explains why the fact that the Zillo Beast probably grows as large as it does. It's not exactly it's a bit contrived, but at the same time it makes sense. But also the fact of why blasters don't affect it, because it feeds on energy. Although it seems like the old certain stun beam weakness still takes effect. Except this time, instead of it being a true stun beam, they tie it up to a ship, which means that they can stun it much more safely and quickly. The Empire's been able to devise that. I think it's also nice to see the Bad Batch once again on the run for the Empire. And also the fact they're starting to grow distrustful of Sid. Her last job she's given them has proven to be a bit of a boondraggle. Namely the fact that she'd sent them to mine something, but they lost the material. Sid's the fact that they sent help, but they had to get their own shit back. And now also I think the fact they've been told to salvage something. Boy, Sid's not going to be happy when she finds out the fact that the stuff they were sent to salvage, she didn't get anything back. I know, it's money as well. I mean, she tries to even introduce them with their same cut. One of the interesting things also is I think the fact that we've seen the clone commandos seem to be largely relegated to guards of key facilities now. Which turns to the fact that and quite possibly even a certain clone commando may make a reappearance, as one of the clone commandos there has yellow patches on his armour. Which seems to be quite rare given the fact we've seen more distinctive clones like Cody and a few others with, in place of the usual orange or other or blue or red traditionally seen, we're now largely seeing grey markings to distinguish regular clone troopers from officers. Which, I think it's nice to see the fact they're dying and the fact he still wears his helmet. I think the other good thing also about the episode is the fact that we're seeing the fact that the Empire is starting to employ mad scientists. And I think it's quite possible Palpatine wanted to get the Zillo Beast scales and study them for terms of armour. And I think this is probably what he's been trying to do. He's realised the fact he can clone the Zillo Beast as a means of trying to develop this new body armor, and he's still trying to develop it. We don't see why the fact the Empire would really do it, given the fact how it treats its own soldiers as disposable pawns, but it might be useful for ship armor, if provided they actually get it to work. The other interesting thing I thought about the whole episode was the fact that, not only was it the fact it was a Zillo Beast, or more specifically it's an offshoot of the Zillo Beast, the other thing is the fact that Palpatine, the reason why the fact that Palpatine, I think, ordered Rampart to destroy Kamino wasn't so much the fact they wanted to end cloning, but rather more specifically control it. And this probably might build into what happened in Episode 9, with the fact of how Palpatine was able to return from the dead. And obviously why the fact his body was so fragile as well. It also explains why he was able to create Snoke. All this is pointing to years of research going to some sort of, I think it's building to something similar to what happened in Legends of the Dark Empire. Palpatine using cloning technology to cheat death, to grow new bodies, and then potentially restore himself. However, it seems like for the fact the cloning process he's using is not 100% complete. As when we do run into him again in Episode 9, he's very, very thin and very, very frail, requiring a life support system to be kept alive, but still very powerful in the Force nonetheless. The other brilliant thing that was really good about the episode was just the fact that the Empire's doing what the Empire does, which is oppressing. And I think also the fact that the Zillo Beast project is highly classified. I think the other interesting thing is the fact we see Lama Su again. And Lama Su, being a politician, is very good at bargaining. Namely the fact he wishes to trade his freedom for the means of being able to get his former head of research back into the fold. Obviously, he wants his freedom back. And he tells him exactly how to do it, which is Omega. That's going to be something interesting. Now, the Empire's going to be after her as well. I think the other thing is the fact that whatever's going on, the Empire is doing more and more to disillusion the public from it. As we see it round up an entire small town or village because of the fact they stole the Zillo Beast, which is something they probably weren't supposed to see. So I think probably they're going to be liquidated or spend the rest of their lives in some sort of penal camp on some sort of charge, namely probably spying or espionage, or maybe sedition, or whatever the Empire calls rebellion at the moment. The other brilliant aspect of the episode was the fact that we're seeing Kaminoan cloning technology, but it's a bit different as well. Also, for a fact, there's an aliens reference. The whole gap with the ship, especially like with the start of the episode. It gets very, very spooky. And we don't see any blood, but nonetheless, all the clones are dead. That unto itself. I mean, if there's one thing that Clone Wars, The Bad Batch, and Rebels have done, it's give us fear without being, like, gory, scary. They're doing a horror genre type film without resorting, like, to blood and guts. That is brilliant. I really like that. I mean, the fact the ship crashed, the transport ship carrying it crashed with all aboard killed, and the fact the Zilla Beast was still active, and also the fact that I was surprised exactly how small the Zilla Beast is. You know, the Zilla Beast, when we see it in Clone Wars, is huge, and this one goes to fairly large size too. But what surprises me was how large it gets, and it also gives the explanation for how it grows, namely it absorbs energy, more specifically directly into its body, which then allows it to grow to such large size, which probably explains why the fact the Zilla Beast lived on the ground in the fuel dumps. It's quite possible the Zilla Beast can absorb almost any kind of energy at hand and then grow. Or the Zilla Beast or Malastare might absorb energy via chemical process. I think this one feeds on electricity. But that is it's also the fact that Zilla Beast starts off very, very small and over time and very rapidly grows to huge skyscraper size, giving it a huge mass involved. I think the other brilliant aspect of the episode was, I think, it's the fact that how scared Echo Omega was in the whole episode, and also the fact that they send the Bad Batch send the information to Rex and Echo, see what they can make of it, knowing for a fact that Rex and Echo are in a far better position to do it, as they might actually, and not only do they have clones willing to defect, they might actually have eyes on the inside, and maybe one of the clone commandos there might actually be part of Rex's network. That was very nice to see, was the fact that I hope for a fact that we get see Echo and Rex in another episode. And I think this is going to feed on that plot thread. Oh boy. This Bad Batch, I think, we've had a couple of episodes of filler, but now it's getting, like, into a main story arc again. There might be a third season, maybe not, but I think whatever happens, it's going to be good. And Bad Batch has not disappointed. I mean it. The writers of the show, they know Star Wars well. They do it proud every time. And I love it even more for it. Well, I've been the for challenge, so please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheerio!